Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides. Shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Welcome in to We Talk Facts with 9-year NBA veteran and Nebraska basketball Hall of Famer Erick Strickland and two-time Nebraska football national champion Clester Johnson. Talking and taking names in sports and day-to-day living. Sit back, relax, and join the show with 9-year NBA vet and Nebraska basketball Hall of Famer Erick Strickland and two-time Nebraska football national champion Clester Johnson.
Yes. We back in the building after Labor Day and the Labor Day weekend. We hope that you all had a wonderful, productive, peaceful, loving, enjoyable.
I did.
You know you did. You're looking real surgical today, my boy. Clester Johnson in the building. Harrison on the board. We are here. We Talk Facts. Another episode, another opportunity to talk about some things. There's some shakeups. There's some movement. And we're going to get into it today because right now there's some thoughts about what's happening over in the mountain regions of Colorado, up at Boulder, with our guy Deion Sanders is making things happen. He shocked the world. A lot of people were waiting for that weekend to pop off to get an understanding of what Colorado was built like, what they had. A lot of people was talking about Shedeur Sanders, whether or not he would be able to make the jump from FCS and HBCU into the Power 5, what that would look like, going up against the runner-ups of the college football championship on last year, TCU, over the weekend, and came up short. It was a barn burner up there in Fort Worth. It was hot, literally. Like they were saying, 120, 130 on the turf. It was crazy, and we just saw something that was quite unique on top of the play on the field. Deion coming off of surgery, blood clots, and amputations, and still was able to put together a nice showing there on the game in TCU. What's your initial thoughts?
Man, I thought I had an ugly foot, but I ain't gonna talk about that. My man got a few toes cut off, man. Yeah. That turf toe must have been crucial. But anyway, I can't think of a time in college football, Strick. It's been a long time that someone has come in and infused college football, just became like the talk of the town. Like, you know what? I remember like when 50 Cent dropped Get Rich or Die Trying.
Ooh,
remember that? How everybody was just like, I gotta get to the store to get this, right?
And he just took Ja Rule's career.
Just took the career. But anyway, I feel like Deion has kind of infuse that into college football, because not only is he being very braggadocious, which a lot of college coaches are not used to doing. Yeah. People usually come into the podium being very humble. I think we have what it takes. But he's been professing that they're coming, right? He's been professing that, do you believe? Mm-hmm. We've heard all of these little slogans. And, me being old school, like I'm not used to it, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool seeing him do this, which he's been doing it all his life.
Yeah.
Nobody should be surprised.
Yeah.
But I do know that he had an opportunity. He put himself out there and said, listen, I can do this. Right.
Well, he started from the ground like Drake.
Mhm.
He started from the bottom.
did.
Now he literally was coaching
Little
like
league.
Snoop Dogg from
Yeah.
not AAU, but
Absolutely.
from the little Pee-wees, got into the high school ranks, won state championships, and kept moving up the
But
ladder.
the thing we must warn people of, Harrison, and I'm gonna bring you in on this discussion also, is don't get this thing twisted. Like, everybody can't do this.
That's real.
Everybody can't come in and
That's
just
a fact.
bring in 86 new players and just turn this thing around like that. It just
No one would
don't
even
happen like
fathom
that.
doing that. No, that most people wouldn't have even thought of doing that, Cless. Like that, but that goes to the uniqueness of the situation, because most people just would allow it to fizzle and phase out, slowly move people. They understand I'm on a cycle.
Right.
I know I'm on a 2-3 year cycle.
Right.
I'll allow this to fizzle out. I'll work with what I'm working with.
Mhm.
I might remove a few. I'm going to bring in a few, but at the same time, I'm not going to do an overhaul in a whole program. But he goes in there, looks at a program, 1-11. He says, I'm coming with my Louis, and basically literally puts everybody in a bag, ships them out. And people were mad about it.
Yeah.
So that's in itself tough for anybody to deal with, to face that type of adversity, because everybody is naysaying you. Everybody thinks you wilding. Everybody thinks you crazy. It's ludicrous. How could you do this? You heard everything under the sun, but yet it seemed to pan out.
Well, this is what it reminds me of. The media, fans, who's ever watching, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, okay? Because I think Deion is kind of showing you how unique he is, how smart he is, because number one, you got to hire the right staff.
That part.
You got to have the right administration to support you.
Facts.
Then you got to factor in family, your family, coaches' families, the message that everybody's on the same page and that it's going to go out to the kids. This is the kind of kid I'm looking for. You know, this is what we need.
He said, I want dogs.
And when you bring them in here, we're going to go hard on them. So there's no way a team can perform like that if they didn't go hard on them.
There's someone that kind of, as I was watching again that Florida Gators Netflix series, it kind of reminded me of Urban Meyer. How Urban kind of went into Florida, looked at the landscape of Florida, where they were at, and said, we about to change what this is looking like. You had them on working out at 12 midnight so they don't go out. Y'all are in this gym. I mean, they had them throwing up, and you can't even wear Florida Gators gear until you earn it. So I thought that was Urban Meyer did. And so do you find that we find ourselves going through cycles like that? Because it seems to me that Saban does it in a little more subtle way, but yet still does the same type of message, right? I mean, he's not as flamboyant. He's not as out. He seems more, but that's
let me tell you
up front, not behind the scenes.
Let me tell you something. Nick Saban is in their grill. You can go online and you catch a little bit how he talks at practice. Listen, he go hard, right? He reminds me of Coach Osborne, but an aggressive. He's an aggressive Coach Osborne, where Coach Osborne was more of a philosopher. He had a titch of aggression, but it went through the coaches more. He wasn't like, get down on the ground and give me, 80 burpees. He wasn't that. He was more of, Clester, you missed the block here. I just don't know if I can play it, And then you're just like, oh man, I disappointed him. I gotta go hard, I mean, how Coach Osborne is. He just kind of it's a titch of sadness and a titch of disappointment. It's like, man, I gotta run through the wall for this guy.
I'm telling you,
to let him know that I care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it was. But so I was watching Deion the other day, because the DBs coach was yelling at the DBs, and he just pulled up and went in on the DBs, just basically just telling them that, listen, your coach is mad at you because you are not taking advantage of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this is a moment. People don't get these moments.
Mm-hmm.
You come in here and you do what you got to do. You are, you're leaving it out there.
Yeah.
And, he just basically said, we need dogs out here.
Yeah. Can you say, when we look at this whole situation, right, we can't just look at it as a Deion Sanders situation. I think we have to take a macro approach to it, because I think he's doing something uniquely different that is capable of changing the landscape of what college football coaching could be like. One, the additions of multiple media groups, Well-Off Media being one of them, with his son Deion Jr. running, where you're getting some inside scoop on how
Very
things
unique.
are running, right? That's a unique thing, because outside of the recruitment process, outside of the new recruiting methods that they're allowing you to text more, they're allowing you to engage them on their social medias. There's different things that now you can do coaching wise, but they're going to a whole nother level. And you see Nebraska trying to take a kind of a snippet of that with their new shows that they're putting out, just to kind of give you a little bit of landscape, because the perception of what Nebraska is becomes the reality of what they perceive, because they can't see. And other than them sometimes showing up, is it a dog and pony show? So no, you see the authenticity of what the coaches are like, how they're engaging their players, and what they're coaching, what they're teaching, what the camaraderie is like. You get to see a lot of that. And I think Deion has kind of done that in a different way. Do you think now that, and let me start with you, Harrison. Do you think, or could you see this being something now that other coaches are kind of taking a note of, and starting to look at it as, maybe we need to start implementing some of this to give them a little bit of insight of what it's like to be on campus here?
Yeah, I mean, definitely marketing. Anytime you're looking at Deion for marketing tips, that's a win right there. I mean, he knows how to market the program, and you want to create that image. As far as like other, I don't want to say Deion's, but other coaches kind of trying that system where he's doing, I just don't know, how likely that is to happen. You got to understand, a guy like Deion, it works because Colorado 1-11. Here's the keys. We're not going to try to slow you down on anything, because we just need help, period. If you try to come to, I saw people saying, Nebraska should have hired Deion. That would have been a huge gamble, right? Because if he's coming to Nebraska, we were at a point you couldn't just give him everything and lock the doors. There's a chance it works out, but if that goes to hell,
High risk,
high
reward,
high risk.
Yeah.
This is a total experiment. So
we should have been willing to take that risk, my friend.
I'll tell you,
that's a good debate.
Yeah.
Good debate.
That is a great debate.
Well, before you answer, that's the thing. I want you to answer, because I sat here in right where I'm sitting right now. And when we talked about the coaching, opportunities and doors, I sent him a message, and he replied to me. He's like, Deion responded and said, his exact words to me. He's like, let me just say, I said, has Nebraska reached out to you? He says, no, they have not. He said, but they better hurry up. And I said, okay. He said, and then he sent me another message, and he was like, yeah, I'm open to it, but I have not heard to him. I said, well, they've been saying that it's a possibility of you being here. I've been hearing it he's like, not true, my brother. That's how he was saying.
Right.
And so go on, because I think that's an interesting debate on, and I have some thoughts as to why I thought it should have been something to have considered, and why I think that. But what's your thought about why?
Well, again, I would just say this. I think Harrison had a lot of really good points. This is a very unique situation. You have a team that was 1-11. They seem to have had a pretty good AD. The guy seemed like he has it together. Nebraska's a little bit different in that the alumni and people who donate are heavily involved. This state, I feel, is a little bit more conservative. Boulder, Colorado, is not liberal. Very conservative. So they will embrace Deion. I can see that happening. Here, I just don't
Yeah.
know. But you had to weigh the pros and the cons to me. Like, look at the kind of player he can bring.
Well,
Like,
you knew his son first and foremost was you had an open quarterback situation.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you're not happy with Casey Thompson. You Coach Rule shoot for Jeff Sims. That was your guy.
Right.
But if Dion, you got a quarterback that's coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got the number one player.
He's got 46 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Right.
Like that's
And
right
that-
there.
I don't care what league you play in.
Yeah.
You're throwing that thing on a rope.
Well, we saw that.
We saw it. First and foremost,
saw
up
that.
close and personal.
But I also don't want to do this. This is what I don't want to do. Like, so again, very unique personality.
I just think it's two trajectories.
It's gonna fit in a certain area,
Yeah.
not everywhere. And the only thing I don't want to do right now is overreact.
No,
Right.
that's good.
So I do want to say we got to see a little bit more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like we was talking about Jokic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get a little bit more. I can't just go off
two
of this.
MVPs don't do it for you.
No. I gotta
Really should have been 3.
listen. They got 3 Heisman Trophy winners already. They got the coach. They got the coach
Of the year
They got
already.
the coach of the year. You know, they already won a
Yeah.
national championship.
They're very hyperbolic.
So I really feel like the media, they need to slow down,
Tone down.
pump their brakes,
Yeah.
and let's see what happens. Because they're not gonna go undefeated.
No.
Their
let's-
defense is still
Yeah.
the thing that's
Sus.
skeptical.
Super sus.
Yeah.
suspect.
Super sus.
One of the 2 FBS schools that didn't have a tackle for
This
loss.
weekend is big, though. Listen,
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, this weekend is big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Telling you.
Huge.
Because you got a team that had a success that people didn't think they were gonna have. Well, maybe they thought they were gonna have, but who knows?
Same way with Nebraska. Nobody thought that they would play the way that they played, defensively and
But
so forth and so on.
so you got all this adulation coming in. You got the coach and the media doing all these interviews. How are they going to handle it from week to week?
Mhm.
Because you can start to read your own press clippings. And
Facts.
you'll start to think how you're great. And I'm just wondering if the players and the coaching staff, are they going to keep grinding?
Right.
Because that's what got them to this first win, is they obviously grinded all through the summer. But if something special happens to them this weekend, well, I tell you what, they're going to be in a national title.
That's crazy, right?
I'm telling you.
Harrison, check this out though, right? I think that this weekend is so important
Very
for
important.
a few reasons, right?
For both schools.
I think for both schools. I think you have a tsunami that's developing potentially on both sides, right? I think it could be to the positive and it could be to the negative for both sides.
Yeah.
I think that let's just look at the Huskers, for example. I think if the Huskers go in and they show and prove and they upset Colorado, right? I think it can be a super turnaround for their season with confidence. A tsunami wave of confidence would overwhelm them, can propel them, and then you go in 1-1. Hopefully, you'll take care of La Tech and Northern Illinois. Or Northern Illinois ain't no fluke now. They
beat Boston
beat
College.
Boston College, and so to me, don't get it twisted with that and go into there think that that's going to be an easy road. We've talked about that before you go into Michigan. I think the same thing for Colorado, right? I think it could propel them. This win could also propel them in preparation for their final Pac-10 race. It's tough out there still because Pac-12. I'm sorry, it's tough out there because Washington's still dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Oregon is looking staunch.
Yeah.
USC, Caleb Williams is, they ain't no
Oregon
slouch.
State.
Oregon State.
They're
You
rated.
know, don't DJ Uliangalele. Hey, DJ out there, putting in work. He looked good. 3 touchdowns, no interception. He looked way better than he did at Clemson. A little bit more
I almost
confident.
got one of them those little flower wreaths and put it on his
Yeah,
on his neck.
man. So I think it could be that, Harrison. So, what is the impact and the importance of these types of wins on this scale. I mean, tickets are like $370 compared to most big tickets.
$370.
I'll show you right now because this is the point. I was actually looking up that tweet.
Good
Shout out the
Lord.
boss man, Derek Pearson. He tweeted this out, and you talked about the tsunamis meeting each other. We got 2 tsunamis coming from Lincoln and heading to Colorado, and they're going to clash. So the top three games of the country, it's going to be Notre Dame versus NC State, $105. Iowa versus Iowa State, $120, $128. Texas versus Alabama, $171. The most expensive, Nebraska versus Colorado at $369 a ticket.
Absolutely.
That's a couple of tsunamis heading right for each other. Yeah, this has, like you said,
people want to
massive momentum.
see, was that a fluke?
Right.
Mhm.
And plus, you have some high-level skilled players that people have already given the Heisman to. That's what tripped me out. But they are legit. Like, you know talent when you see it.
You know when you see it.
And
there's no
I'm not going to diminish that they got great talent. I'm curious about TCU. Is Nebraska better than TCU? I don't know. Because TCU has, there's quite a few of those players that played in the championship game last year.
Yeah.
They only had 3 starters back from TCU. So that was a big point. They only had 3 starters returning. So that was, again, you're kind of feeling that first
you
game.
You still have backups who played the game. Like myself, right? When I returned in 95, I had played for 2 years, but I was a backup. But I played it just as much as a starter. So they got guys on that team that were probably like starters.
And they won a lot of close. They
won close.
That carryover is real. This was really just a situation of who was going to make the play.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what it really came down to.
The craziest part about that was the play was a 3-and-out on that first series and them scoring and responding right back. Because after that first quarter,
and the touchdown,
TCU 0, Colorado 7. After that, TCU 14 points every quarter. But it was you slipped up in the first quarter, it's over.
So that's the thing that really scares me the most about Nebraska. When I look at our offense, right? The defense played relatively strong.
Yeah.
But what I'm afraid about the offense is when they score, can we respond?
Yeah.
And if it got into a back and forth, can we respond with no mistakes? Because they responded with no mistakes.
Yeah.
And
one penalties minimum. Minimal penalties.
One little thing could have ended the game for them.
Yeah,
right?
no question.
But they were focused.
And I mean, you had third down plays. They made catches that were not easy catches.
Right.
That's where I think we differ. I think Shador threw some good deep balls, a couple that were missed, a couple that were on target. And that just showed me a lot. Most were on target. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll continue the conversation. We'll dig a little bit deeper into it. Talking about this matchup, we're going to dig into this matchup a little bit about the Colorado Buffaloes as well as the Nebraska Huskers coming up really soon this week.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pine Lane. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or step. And at Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strickland Clester.
Back, the matchup is on and popping. It'll be happening on September the 9th at 11 a.m. there in Boulder, Colorado. The 22-ranked Colorado Buffaloes leapt into the top 25 after a big win over TCU. Nebraska coming up short, 10-13 on a last-second field goal off of a couple of mistakes when they had a chance to win the game. Can they rebound? We'll talk about it right now here on We Talk Facts. Erick Strickland, Clester Johnson, and Harrison, our guy on the board. Listen.
Talk to me now. What's on your mind?
So here's the thing, right? We pretty much have an understanding of who Jeff Sims is, right? We know quarterback wise what he's going to be. You've gone through spring, you've gone through fall, and it's my understanding it is what it is at this time. You know what it's going to be.
What is it?
It's turnover central.
Just come on and say it.
If he has to stand back there and read and figure out if you're cover 2, cover 3, if it's a rover, if there's blitz packages that are, he can't see it. So for me, any defense that can throw wrinkles and just mix up coverages, it's trouble for Nebraska. So my thought is this: in this question to both of you, at what point, because you have a tremendous athlete in Jeff Sims, let's just be real about it. He's a great athlete. He's got great size. I think he could be a, you know, I'm not even gonna say he's on Travis Hunter's level, but I think he could be one of those guys that still could have success. But at what point do you say, Harburg, come on in?
Well,
let's give it a go.
Well, here's the thing.
At what point now?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is what I don't want to do. Okay, like we did with Colorado, we were ready to crown them national champs. They got 3 Heisman Trophy winners. I don't want to do the same with Nebraska. Okay. When we both went through the schedule this year, I picked Nebraska to lose these first 2 games, right? Now, how they lose says a lot about what you think is going to happen the rest of the year, right? That first game, it was a close game, and we realized that, you know what, Nebraska should have won that game. Like, they should have won that game. And I think you picked Nebraska to win this game coming up, right? But now it's like on a week-to-week basis.
It's a week-to-week basis.
Right.
There's nothing set in stone.
Like,
No,
you gotta kind of have a feel, right? So the reason why I had a feel that they would lose that first game, because Minnesota's 9-4 last year. They're at home. They got an established coach. They got an established system. And to me, that's what won the game. That won them the game. It wasn't that they were overwhelmingly better than Nebraska. It was just that they were at home. They have an established coach, an established system, and Nebraska'd. You know, that's what they did.
They Nebraska'd.
So then I thought they would lose this game because I just thought that Deion Sanders is doing what I thought he would do. He infused some excitement into his players. Like, one thing we didn't know is how good the players were. But when we watched them on Saturday, we're like, we may have to change what their number is, because I want to say their number was like 3 or 4. People were like projected. Now people are saying 8 to 10, possibly. Like, at least they have a chance with that talent. And obviously, they got to fix things on the defense.
They're lacking depth.
Right. So, you know, that being said,
altitude's going to be an issue too.
I want to see how Nebraska responds to their loss, and I want to see how Colorado responds to their win. That's going to listen. The first half is going to tell you everything about this game. I'm just telling you. The first half is going to tell you everything. If Colorado come out and continue to cook, if they just pick up from continuation from last week, it could be a long day, because I just don't think we have the offense to do it. Now, I do feel like we have a way to win on offense, but I'm gonna let you go and I'll come back to it.
What I want to say is, Harrison, if you can just kind of check it up when I throw it out here. Nebraska has lost 15, I believe. I think it was 14 coming into this game, 15 second half leads over the last 3-4 years. That's crazy. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think when you get into these numbers, you know, I know it's a new regime, but there's still, you know, some players that have been there and have experienced what that record is like as far as losing games, 1-score losses.
So just under Scott Frost, you rack it up as 22 1-score losses. Matt Rule, you had one more, so we're at 23 1-score losses, and out of those, we've only won looks like just 3.
Just 3.
Yeah, that's rectum tight, tighten up. You know, like you know, they get tight for some reason. They need that starology.
Right.
You know, on the bed.
Right.
Imagine.
You know what's kind of crazy is I'm looking at this right now. The start of this trend of 1-score losses actually started in 2018. Nebraska 28, Colorado 33. And that's when you really start racking up the 1-score losses. So you're gonna have a little bit of chance to kind of redo history here too if you're Nebraska. Try to get out of that.
Maybe they can break the curse.
Yeah, maybe that's where it started.
Now,
so go ahead, bring your point.
I was just gonna talk about the mentality that we gotta have once we go up there. Is it going to be a blackout, or do the Nebraska fans go up there and continue to dominate? Because we definitely, as fans, we dominated Boulder.
They went. Dion said, my understanding, he talked to the people. They're not going to let that happen. So it's gonna. They've got a good portion, but they ain't going to let it be a.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be red on like the outside, but inside
it's not going to be. It's not going to be.
It was like 70% the last game.
I know.
Played. Like the whole stadium was red.
Yeah, no, they're not going to let
Crazy.
that happen. Yeah.
So what's our mentality going up there? What's our game plan? That's what I want to know from you, because I got a thought on what I think the game plan is going to be.
It's got to be a heavy dose of Gabe Ervin and the whole crew. Like, it's got to be to the point where you look at that, you've got to rely on your offensive line to get push, to continue to pound. We got to go to Pound Town. We got to go to Pound Town. I mean, let's just be real. We got to go to Pound Town. Like, I'm saying, every time you get on this line, I'm trying to bulldoze you and get 5 to 6 every time.
Football Pound Town.
Football Pound Town.
All right. I needed some clarification on where you were going with it. But anyway, you're right. So that's what I was going to say. I was going to say ball control.
Yeah.
Little dinks and dunks. Like, they need to get into a lot of 3rd and 2s.
Yes.
Third and 1s, 3rd and 2s. Pick up.
Can't
the
get
first
behind
down.
the chains.
Pick up the first down.
Leave that young man alone. He might be on the left side. Leave him alone. Do not look his way. If you look his way, leave Travis Hunter alone.
Listen, they're not doing it.
Yeah,
they're not doing it. But I think Nebraska has a chance. It's
always
Saturday.
a chance.
Every Saturday is always a chance, right? Is Nebraska's defense stronger than TCU's defense? What's your thoughts on that?
I would say they did, but I also will say that I think Colorado's receivers are better than TCU's.
Absolutely.
That's so there's a little bit difference. If Harzog got hip turned on the way these young men is gonna have you spinning in the spin cycle.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned, but here's where I'm also concerned. Here's where I have a concern, because if you're not going to pressure, you're not going to. If you let Shedeur Sanders sit back there in a pocket, he is going to kill you because he's that accurate, and he'll get to 1, 2, 3, and 4. He's that good. He'll shuffle. He'll create. He'll extend plays. He's got great footwork. Now, again, say what you will. Tom Brady trained him. You know, he's worked with some of the best. It ain't just that he just showed up and it is what it is. No, he's worked over the offseason with a lot of people. So now what I'm saying is, if we don't get pressure and force Shedeur Sanders to stay in pocket and get corralled, it's going to be trouble. So here's what happened this is what scared me about the last half. You needed to stop. The Kellick Manis is not a dart thrower. He'll beat you with his feet. He'll extend plays. He can dime it, but he's not like a dart thrower. So we were 5, 10 8 yards off on their receivers when they're trying to move the ball down to a field goal. And they were letting these little outs and sideline. You weren't even covering boundaries. And I was like, wait a minute now. You're just letting them just kind of waste no time just getting down the field and getting a field goal. That was a little concerning to me. So I'm hoping we can make an adjustment there, because little Dylan Edwards too is a monster.
Oh yeah, we saw it when he took off on the edge there. I mean, he dusted everyone on that TCU's defense.
I mean, Angles.
Yeah,
he outran Angles.
Yeah.
So
after your thought, we'll go to break.
I just think that Colorado's going to have to come down a little bit. Nebraska's going to have to shake it up a little bit. They're going to have to be unpredictable in what they're doing on offense and defense. Whatever they did at Minnesota, they need to scrap that, and they need to come in with a new attitude. And also, if something big happens early, just keep your composure. You know, because they got an explosive team. They can put a score on you. how you gonna respond?
That's a good point because you're pretty much guaranteed they're not going to have 0 explosive plays.
Yeah.
You're going to have to find a way to get through at least 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
There it is. We'll come right back for our last segment right after this. We talk facts. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. W2.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the attention of the Nebraska Lottery that when people hear a radio commercial in their car for one of our lotto games, Powerball, Mega Millions, or Lucky for Life, they tend to begin daydreaming about how they'll spend the prize money if they win, instead of paying attention to the road. So please, when I tell you that Nebraska Lottery Lotto games offer big money and big fun, keep your mind on driving. Do not start thinking about all the things you could buy if you win. Things like bright red sports cars, tropical vacations, 100-inch TVs, hot tubs, SUVs, a new computer, motorboats.
Bob, snap out of it.
Oh, good heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Perhaps I should go home now.
You better let me drive.
Lotto games from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
This Easter, focus on your family instead of dishes with the Venue Easter to-go meals. Prepared fresh in house by our chefs, these meals are ready to heat and eat with packages for 2 to 3 people or 6 to 8, and your choice of juicy beef tenderloin, tasty herb roasted chicken, or our famous 6-pepper crusted prime rib. All meal packages come with sides, and we have additional add-ons available to complete your feast. Order today at venuedelivered.com/Easter. That's venuedelivered.com/Easter.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rush into your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strickland Clester.
Yo, welcome back to WTF Podcast on 93.7 FM The Ticket, streaming live on YouTube, streaming live on Twitch, Allo, X, Channel 951. What did I miss?
X.
But we always got to thank everybody who tuned in tonight You make the show what it is. We're growing. We just got some good news that the analytics are doing very well. People are watching. So Strickland, you must be saying something right on here.
No, I'm just
You know?
WTFing them.
You coming
You know
with
what I'm
facts.
saying? I'm just
That's what it
WTFing them.
is. But
you know what I mean?
in
Because we're going to
conclusion,
Pound Town.
in conclusion, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. In conclusion, I want to see my alma mater get on track. I would love nothing more than to see them come up, go to Boulder, and put themselves on the map. This is an opportunity for them to go up there, and if they beat a hot Colorado team, well, then people going to start taking a look at what's going on in Lincoln with Matt Rule, right? I would love for that to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen this weekend. I wanted to happen this weekend, but when we did our predictions, I thought we would lose game 1 and game 2. Then I think we're going to win our next 2. The next 2, like I told y'all, not going to be as easy as we thought, because we got Northern Illinois and La Tech. Like, those kind of teams are feeling confident about us. But I'm feeling like we're going to get through those 2
Coming
games.
back home.
2-2. But this weekend, like we just mentioned before we went off the air, we're not going to be able to prevent Colorado from explosive plays. I don't know how this team is going to respond. Are we going to press? Do we? Because we got a quarterback that you put him back there, and is he going to press and throw it into coverage? I don't know.
Because this is a huge game.
It's a big game.
Yeah.
But I really feel like we need to ball control it, and if we could do that and limit their amount of times on offense, get it into the fourth quarter, maybe if we can wear them down, because TCU did have they ran for over 200 some yards. So we can have some success running the ball if we do it right. Fake runs, pull it back with some play action.
Yeah.
I think we got a chance.
Here's the benefit of what's where Colorado is. Although they lack depth, especially on the defensive side, they're well trained as far as conditioned team. Nebraska this is where the first quarter, and you've been there. I've been there playing up in Colorado in the Big 8. When you go into that altitude,
you can feel it.
Hey, yo. I mean, I was like, man, I was in great shape. That oxygen, I need it. This is how you're going to tell if Nebraska if they can hold down the first quarter and still be in it. I think you'll get over the height, the altitude situation, and then hopefully you got to grind down on that defense. You're just going to have to continue to pound on the defense because there's just lack of depth there. But their offense is going to be well.
I feel like it seems like their strength is in the defensive backfield.
Yeah.
Their linebackers were out of position a lot. That was their weakness on defense. I feel like their D line was okay. So, I think the Nebraska coaches are smart enough to look at the film and say, here's where they're weak.
Yeah.
This is what we got to attack. And I think they're going to put a game plan together where the nation hopefully will say, all right, maybe Colorado. We're going to either be saying maybe Colorado, that was all hype because nobody knew what they had. Now we know.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be like, dang, these dudes are explosive.
Yeah.
And they're going to give people problems.
We've got a quick Harrison, quick prediction on what you think the game is going to look like tomorrow before we get out of here.
Yeah, okay.
Or not tomorrow, but this weekend.
This weekend, I'm going to say I think both teams understand how important it is. So I think it's actually going to be closer. I think Nebraska still falls short, though. I'm going to go 31-38, Colorado.
Class.
I just watched something that we hadn't seen for a while. We saw 3 Heisman Trophy candidates, and one is projected. One of them, too, if they keep playing like this, is going to win. Oh man, I'm digging for a number. And if I had a prediction, I'm going to say 42-20. I'm going 42-20 Colorado, and I hope I'm wrong. I'm just going to say that.
I'm going to say 42-14. I don't think we can score enough. I don't think we can move the ball enough. Now, that number would go up for me if they run the ball. You understand?
Yeah.
Like if they do not do that, if they're going to try to do this balanced style, we're in trouble because it's going to give them too much time. It's going to be too many opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the number gets bad. Now, if they run the ball, I'm going to say, I picked them to win, but I'm going to say 28-21.
Let's hope we go 0 for 3 in here.
I
would love to be wrong.
I would
Like
love
to
to
be
be
wrong.
wrong. I say the same thing.
But we
about
got to be
Minnesota.
real, too. We got to go with the courage of our convictions.
Because I picked right on Minnesota, so I'm
right
really
there with
1-0.
you.
What you mean you picked right?
I picked Minnesota to win.
I did too.
Oh,
but you picked Colorado.
Yeah,
to lose. You
gosh,
picked the
dang
Huskers
it.
to win this game.
Huskers, let's get it done. Let's get it done, baby, so I can go and beat this record. We got to get out of here. 93.7 The Ticket, WTF. We out.